Welcome back. The international financial services provider Rabobank is transforming food and agriculture financing on the basis of cooperative principles. In an interview with Channels television producer Temple Ashaju, the chairman of the bank, Mr. Veeb Dreja, explains some of the actions taken to de-risk new financing models and plans to align pension fund with farming in the Netherlands.
So if you finance agriculture around the world, the risk balances out a little bit. So you always have a region that is doing well, and there's a region that does less well, and it mixes out. So one of the reasons why we can be in places like Nigeria in the agricultural space is because we stick around for a long time. The second part is that we help develop cooperatives, and when farmers combine themselves in a cooperative setting, they quickly get a longer-term orientation, and they are avoiding risks that individuals would typically take, and they are more long-term oriented. There's a sense of bonding, there's a sense of responsibility, and that's easier to finance that. And the third is you can also combine financing with guarantees. So we have, when we start in a place where we don't really know whether next year will be fine, then you can offer a guarantee. And so the farmer is not only getting the financing, but he also gets a guarantee. If the crop is a bad year and the bank would run, we wouldn't, because then the guarantee funds the farmer, and he can then pay the loan from the guarantee. So that's how you have to de-risk these initial investments. And if you do that over a long enough period of time, you can finance the world. The interest rate is determined based on the practices that the farmer has, what the securities are against it, and whether or not he adopts sustainable practices. So we can give discounts for farmers that are really sustainable, and you can get a better rate if there's a good set of securities behind the loan. So there's really no such thing as an average loan that is meaningful.
And hundreds of commuters were among the first to travel on a newly launched light railway in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, this week. The government is working to improve transport infrastructure in the country, which has affected economic growth over the years. Let's watch this.
Hundreds of Nigerians were among the first passengers on the light railway network in the country's capital that marks a rare transport project launch in the nation, where economic growth has been marred by a lack of infrastructure development. The passengers took to the Abuja light railway system, the first phase of which took 11 years to construct and was opened by President Muhammadu Buhari last week. It connects the international airport with other parts of the city. Nigeria has the largest economy in West Africa, but growth in the continent's top oil producer has for decades been stunted by its poor transport infrastructure. President Buhari, who took office in 2015 and hopes to secure a second term in next year's election, has vowed to address the problem. Many people who work in Nigeria's capital live on the outskirts of Abuja or satellite towns due to the high cost of living in inner city areas.
It's timed, and there's no obstruction, no hold up, so it's a very perfect arrangement. And I think this will impact positively on the economy, on the economy of this country. When this is replicated all over the place, there'll be less pressure on our roads.
In fact, the train have advantage more than the car. When you look at, consider the cost of the journey and then the risks involved. And secondly, the convenience. Look at how the place so space.
The first phase, built by China's Civil Engineering Construction Corporation at a cost of $823 million, comprises of 45.25 kilometers of track on 2 lines. When completed, there will be 6 lines and 292 kilometers of track.
For me, it was a nice experience boarding from central part of Abuja to the airport. If you want to go by road, it's usually a very long distance and it's quite expensive. But with this train now, it makes life easier. You can catch your flight going by the train if you want to compare it to using the road, where these cab drivers, popularly called the taxi drivers, give you a bill of almost 2,500 to 300 to 3,000 naira. But with this system, I think it's really a welcome development.
It was announced last year that the Chinese state-run company would also construct the second phase of the network. Buhari's government has been looking for partners to overhaul its aging railway system. Nigeria's rail lines were mainly built by British colonial rulers before independence in 1960.
The project started in 2007, and it was an outstanding and an ongoing project. Now, it is very important to note that completing this project will ensure that massive employment happens. A lot of residents of FCT and including Nigerians will be employed. Now, directly, we are looking at employing at least 1,000 people directly. Now, indirectly, you are looking at over 20,000 people being employed.
The government plans to revamp about 3,500 kilometers of existing narrow gauge lines from the southwestern commercial capital Lagos to Kano in the north and from southeast oil hub Port Harcourt to Maiduguri in the northeast.
And finally, Ghana's economy will be up to 40% bigger than previously calculated when the West African country completes an overhaul of its economic output data in September. The Statistics Office says the major commodity exporter is recalculating its gross domestic product based on measurements from 2013 instead of 2006 to more accurately reflect recent activity in the petroleum, communication, technology, and construction sectors. Ghana's $47 billion economy ranks 11th in Africa after Tanzania. That's according to IMF estimates for 2017. A 30% expansion will move it up one spot. The Statistics Office plans to announce the new data in September. Together with second quarter GDP growth, the economy expanded 6.8% in the first 3 months. And that's it on the program. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Chimezie Obi Iwago.